One of the things that I have been really interested in lately is the idea of speed. And it is an idea that's been really changing my life. It's been a huge area of focus, and I wanted to talk about it with you guys today. I had this moment a couple months ago where I was considering a business partnership, and I had a couple different people lined up for this business partnership. And the first one that I had spoken with asked, "Hey, so can you have a decision by tomorrow?" And I was like, well, no, the other person that I want to talk to, can't meet with them until Thursday. So I definitely would probably get back to you next week. And he looked at me and he said, sure. But money loves speed. And when he said that, it resonated as just true for me. I just immediately knew that what he was saying was true. And it was an idea that I was not living. I was willing to let decisions take weeks. I was willing to let time just sort of go on at a very comfortable pace. And I think the results that I was getting at that time were reflective of that. And the more that I've committed to this concept, the more quickly things have sped up for me, the more results I've been able to create in a short period of time, including having 50K months, having 40K months, having 30K months, really successful financial wins for my business. And honestly, I've just been enjoying the way that I've been showing up a lot more. And I want for you guys to have this too. And there are a couple of different ways where I feel like this manifests. The first is in decisions, and the second is in actions. And so I want you to think about, where are you letting your decision making take longer than it needs to? Often when you step out into entrepreneurship, starting a coaching business, starting a service-oriented business, doing something that you want to create that's awesome for the world, you will be faced with a number of decisions that will be overwhelming to you at first. You will have more than you can possibly handle. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to delay on that decision making. You're going to want to put things off. You're going to want to give it time for more clarity to come. But the truth is that clarity comes from making decisions, not the other way around. If you wait to be perfectly clear, you're not going to be able to move quickly enough to create the results that you're really looking for. So make decisions that are not irreversible much more quickly than what you're currently doing. And 99% of decisions are irreversible. Let me give you a perfect example of this on a decision that felt to me like it wasn't reversible. A few years ago, when I was building the Flow Code for the first time, I had to pick which learning management software I wanted to put that on. Was I going to use Circle? Was I going to use Kajabi? Was I going to use School? And I did all this research. And I listened to my body, I tuned in. This process took weeks. And I thought, well, this is a really big decision because whatever I end up on is going to be what I use for the next couple years. And so it's really important that I get this right. And the way that I went about it, which was weeks and weeks before ultimately landing on Kajabi, was such a waste of time. I could have just picked Kajabi on day one. I could have just picked Circle on day one. I knew all of them would have worked fine, but it was my inability to just choose that kept that being the thing that I was thinking about, rather than whatever the next problem was, which was like how to get people to join, how to speak about it, how to build the landing page, all of the things, all of the other things that were waiting on which platform to build it on could have just been done 3 weeks faster. And you can imagine just like how interest compounds financially, debt and stagnation compound the same way. So a decision that could take 3 weeks, now I'm making the next decision 3 weeks later. Whereas if I had just made that in an hour, and then I did the next decision in an hour and the next decision in an hour, I'm already several decisions ahead of where I would be in the other option. So just think about in your life, if you were to make decisions more quickly, sure, you're going to make some of the wrong decisions, but making wrong decisions is not necessarily something that time solves. Like, I didn't love Kajabi. And in fact, we're going to talk later about how I shifted off of Kajabi after a couple of years for reasons that I won't get into right now. So again, where in your life are you delaying the decision-making process? Where in your life are you doing things out of a fear of not rushing, out of giving things importance and saying, I can't make a decision quickly because this is a really big deal? where are you doing that, and where is that slowing down your life? Because like I said, most decisions are not irreversible. If you make a choice, you use Kajabi, you can change it, right? So you can buy a house, you can change it. All of these, the only thing that is not renewable as a resource is your time. So I want you to put a priority on that. And that's something that I've been doing, something that I've been working on. And it's been amazing. It's the best. And you can try this on too. Like, you can practice this at places like a restaurant. Like, when it comes time to make a choice on what you want to eat, just make it right away, or don't even look at the menu. Look at the menu when the server arrives, and then just make the choice then. You will make better decisions, honestly, and there's a lot of scientific research to support this idea. You'll enjoy your choice a lot more, and it's also just generally more enjoyable of a process. And this is something that I've done for some time now, and it's a really beautiful way of living life, and I encourage you to find more and more ways of doing things like this. The next piece is in the actions that you take. And I was someone who several years ago, I experienced burnout. I was working in a corporate role, trying to hit deadlines and numbers and trying to hit all these metrics. And it was just like a rat race. And every month, everything restarted. And every month I was out there trying to hit those numbers again, right? And it was at times a really energizing process, but at the same time, it was really a draining process because I wasn't really building anything for myself. There was no equity in it for me. I was, making good money, getting paid, but then I was starting from scratch the next month versus building a business myself where that process stacks on itself. So wins this month carry over into next month. And so that's a process that was really draining to me. And I got burnt out from that process. And so I had this fear of taking lots of action because in that role, I was taking so much action. I was working so hard that I thought that hard work was the thing that caused me to burn out. And so I was actually afraid of stepping on the gas again in the way that I did in this previous role. And I think about it almost like an injury, like a player coming back from injury. You know, I'm a huge tennis fan, and Carlos Alcaraz has hurt his wrist, and I've heard him speak about, not having full confidence to like really hit shots because of this pain. And the pain that I went through that burnout process was something I really, really didn't want to experience again. So I sort of villainized action. I overemphasize nervous system work and healing and groundedness and being in peace and being in flow and all these beautiful things that are really, really good. But I did it at the cost of taking action, of being really fast, of seeing something, making moves, seeing an opportunity, taking it, seeing a thing that needed to be changed, making that change. And that process really took a long time to recover from. Honestly, it's probably been 8 years since that happened. And I'm finally starting to regain this piece that I'm taking action much more quickly. I'm not letting the decision making, I'm not letting fear, I'm not letting wondering about whether or not it's the right thing, wondering whether or not I'm going to get burned out. I'm not worried about those things. I'm just doing the thing and doing the thing and doing the thing. And then I'm watching myself, right? I'm keeping an eye on myself. I'm checking in on myself. These last few months, I've been working 16-hour days because I love it. I've been having so much fun doing the things that I'm doing and building the things that I'm building. So I'll just say that. Where in your life are you delaying action? Where in your life are you procrastinating on things? Where in your life are you saying, I can get that done tomorrow. I can get that done next week. I can get that done by the end of next week, when it could be done today, when it could be done right now. I was just on a call with my head of community inside my community group, the Flow Code, and we were having this conversation, and she was saying, how great would it be if we had an updated list on everybody's start and end dates? Because the community, people are coming in, coming out, and it's been a little bit messy on the back end. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll add that to the list of things to do. And then I thought to myself, well, what if I just took the first step of that now when we're on the call? So I carved out 30 seconds to ask Claude for some support on getting access to our database and helping surface this process. We got an answer and we were able to solve that step literally on the call right there in 5 minutes, rather than, oh, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to do it later. It gets on a to-do list and I'll get to it. I'm moving through my to-do list, of course, but it may be by the end of next week. But instead, this thing that came up was addressed, and now the next thing that needs to be done can show up. So get in the rhythm of getting things done quickly. It's okay, especially if you're doing something that's aligned for you, if you're doing something that you really enjoy doing, if you're doing something that matters to you, if you're building something that has real equity, move freaking quickly. It is going to change your life, I promise you. And if you want more support in helping find the thing that you love to do, if you want more support in being held accountable to the things that you say you're looking to do, we have an awesome community of people, awesome tools, awesome setup for you that I'd love to share more about. Check out the link in the description to learn a little bit more. We'd love to have you be a part of it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.